Baki. Baki was entertaining. Violent as fuck, though, but entertaining. I watched, it's a different anime than, as far as the animation goes, than just about anything I've seen recently. I can't remember the last time I saw something that had such defined lips. And don't get me wrong, the anime is really drawn out, really nice, really smooth. But there's something about the lips that happens in a lot of these characters that just isn't really prevalent in other anime that I've watched recently. If there's another one out there, I don't know yet. I didn't mind it. Sometimes the anime is where the anime is really pulling out the stops is the muscle definition, which is something that has it's something that it has in common with the other anime on Netflix, the Kengan Ashura. I believe that's right. Where these two animes are very manly, very violent, and all about fighting. Which is cool, you gotta I think I gotta kind of be in the mood to watch something like this. Without giving too much away, what I liked about Baki is that, as far as the difference between the two, is that Baki has, and I think that's how I'm pronouncing it, Baki or Baki. Baki has a little love interest thing happening. It seems pretty cool. I think it pushes the boundaries a little bit. I'll let you guys, if you guys watch it, if you guys are even communicating and listening to this, of course, let me know what you think about it. The other thing that it shares, and I don't know if this is a trend that I'm missing or that I'm not aware of or something, but it seems like the fight scenes in the last few, or in the newer anime anyway, seem to be overly drawn out. Sometimes the fight scenes in Black Clover last 2 or 3 episodes, it seems like. In this show and the other show, the fight scenes are a little out of control. They're one guy is beating the shit out of another guy, and then right when you think that guy's going to lose, he pulls something out of his ass, some super duper secret technique. He starts fighting back to beat the other guy, and then as soon as you think the other guy is going to win, he pulls out some super duper 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 technique that has been taught by generations, and then he starts fighting back. And then something super violent comes about, and somebody wins. And it's, it's crazy, it's ridiculous, and it's funny. It's entertaining. At the very least, it's entertaining and it's cool. But it seems like the overall theme on this is people's the character in people, where while everyone is some super duper fighter, and on some level is, it's the same playing field. What ends up winning, or what ends up bringing one character on top of the other, is character and their will, and how strong they are internally, and how much they're willing to endure in certain situations, or through the worst of punishment. And I've noticed that the outcome of the fight isn't based on good or bad. And in the end, as the Japanese and anime, in mainstream anime anyway, have adopted the American tradition or the American nuance of the good guys always win, as opposed to French movies where and certain other movies where the good guy doesn't always win. Sometimes the good guy or the bad guy gets away with some shit. The storyline, I think, is awesome in the sense that they go in depth to each fighter and they talk about how it came to be. And it really, at this point, I've watched the first season, and I like the way that they cut it up. It's first season part 1 and first season part 2. But in the beginning, it seemed it took a little turn. It seemed like the plot was going to be one thing, and then it ended up being something a little different. So I'm thinking that they're probably going to end up tying it all together in the next season, part 3, or the next chapters of this thing. But it has the potential of losing steam. It has the potential of being drawn out, which is where I'm at with Black Clover. I'm pretty much I'm almost fed up with it because they need to, and I'm probably mentioned this before. They need to start reeling it in. They need to start seeing what they need to start. I need to start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. As far as the story goes, maybe love interest, who's going to be the Wizard King, where it's going now. And the problem with it is that the story's been drawn out so long that if I am going to be satisfied, it'll probably need to be wrapped up within the next 10 episodes, and that's just really not going to happen. They're not going to have one more season where they're going to explain everything that happens and then close it out. I think this is going to be one of those super duper drawn out series that it doesn't really have a plot but continues to have conflicts in every episode. They might get resolved in one episode or 2 episodes, cliffhanger, tune in next week sort of attitude. And I mean, a good thing that at least nowadays you get to binge watch these things. And I'm a sucker for stories. I'm a sucker for a beginning, a middle, and the end. There's, I do appreciate animes that are just 10 to 12 episodes long, and then boom, we're done. And if we happen to, want a sequel, let's do it, and let's have at it. And I love Full Metal Panic. I know it's cheesy as fuck, but it's funny, and they seem to resolve the issues within that particular season and keep moving forward with the same basic character dynamics that happens in that one. Baki's story is going in a good direction. I think it's cool. Again, what's keeping me here is overall the story. I don't mind the violence so much. There's a couple of things that made me go, whoa, that's fucking crazy. But the characters that are strong are really strong, and the characters that are weak are really weak, and there's almost no balance in there. And as of right now, you should see a character arc between them showing that, okay, well, this character, the super strong character, has a flaw. And let's see someone exploit it. Let's see someone talk about it, this, that, and the other. And the weak character happens to have a super strength that is going to be able to help somebody. And that's, I assume that's probably where this story is going to go, but we'll see. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not annoyed with it. I'm not trying to critique it like don't watch it or watch it. I'm just really interested in the storylines, and there's a lot of philosophy that's going around here where between the characters, the good guys and the bad guys, they talk about philosophy and what it means to be a fighter, what it means to be a quote-unquote real man, what it takes to succeed. And then there's counter-arguments as well, like, I've given my life and dedicated myself to this one martial art in order to be the strongest in the world. And then when you turn around and use that quote-unquote art against someone else who also dedicated their life to their martial art, when it comes down to brass tack, one person's got to win and one person's got to lose in these tournaments or fight matches. And one guy realizes that maybe he either didn't train hard enough or the other guy is that much better than him. And it's very interesting to see because obviously this is fantasy, it's a cartoon, but it really grapples with real life philosophy about how good are you. And this is from, taken a little bit from my other podcast, The Common Rule, where I talk about the creative process and I talk about how what we can use to be better artists. The underlying theme in that, and the reason that I have that podcast is because we should always be learning. We should never think that we are completely knowledgeable about our craft, that we must keep moving forward. And in that sense, this idea, this philosophy that you can never be 100% prepared, but you can be pretty gosh darn close to be able to handle a lot of situations, and you should be able to also be so well versed in whatever craft that you're in that you should be able to handle and adapt and change to anything that's coming to you and be able to persevere. And this is in the most raw sense, I think, what this show is trying to tell you, that no matter how well prepared you are, what's going to put you on top of another person that is quote-unquote also as well prepared than you is your willpower and your character and how much you're willing to endure and how much you really want it and keep moving forward. How big is your heart? How big is your will? And while that may be a little, pushing the overall line of quote unquote a cartoon, it really does make you think about the certain aspects when you watch something that is well made, and that it might be borderline cheesy, it might not be, but when it's still well made, and it transcends to just the regular, the harem type of anime that happens. And that's what I really appreciated, is that even in its most cheesy state, it still made me think about stuff at a really unique point in my life. I saw it when I was in the hospital. To say that I needed something like this is maybe going a little too far, but when I watched it, it made me think. I just need to move forward in the position that I was in, and I took away probably a little too much from this cartoon, but and I keep using the word cartoon because I'm not trying to downplay it. It's just that I'm just trying to make a point that you can still get a lot out of watching anime and how important. And I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but I think it's worth watching and repeating. And again, when you watch some things that are more serious, with more serious undertones, like Rascal Senpai and even Psychopaths and oh shit, I just lost my third example. But when you watch these serious ones with God damn it, the ones where they're fighting, it's about economics and they're fighting about taking over in some fantasy world. God damn it. No, I'll figure it out later. But you know what I'm talking. Somebody gives you credit, you have a wish, and you can change time in the past regarding how you play this game. These things make you think about money and a little deeper, and they're a little more serious than fucking is it wrong to try to pick up chicks in the dungeon? So all right, that's enough for right now. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.